The recording of this video is March 29th, 2023, and I heard about Battle Spirits Saga 2 weeks ago. I was advertised something about $1 million prize pool tournaments from a YouTube ad, I think. And then I think the next day or two, I saw a tweet from Kriparian, who is a YouTuber I used to watch a lot of Hearthstone videos from, but haven't watched much in the past several years as I quit that game many years ago. I thought, you know, I'll watch his video about this new card game that I also was just recently advertised. It was interesting. It had me intrigued, and later that weekend, me and my wife, we went to our local card store and we picked up 2 demo decks and we just tested it out, figured out how the flow of it went, and later that day we booked a hotel. And so this is the crazy thing, okay? I have a history of playing card games competitively. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively back around 2013 through 2016, and I also played it just like as a kid in middle school and stuff like that, and you know, Pokemon as a kid as well. And I've topped some tournaments. I've gone to nationals and some other things too. And I had a really good friend group that I was able to play test and learn a lot with. And so it gave me some confidence, because I was like, this is my thinking. Battle Spirits Saga, it's a new game. It's not even out. And they're going to have this $150,000 tournament in Las Vegas, which is not far from here. It's about a 6-hour drive from where I live. And even if you get 128th place, you will win $500. And I've gotten way better than that in every single Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament I've ever been in. So I thought to myself, this is an easy $500. Even though I don't know anything about any of the cards, I've got like 9-10 days to just start looking stuff up before I play. And that's where the journey began. Basically, for the next week, I was watching and listening to every single YouTube video. I joined the Battle Spirits Tensei Discord. I don't know if I said that right. Read a million comments, looked at a bunch of people's deck lists, look at some cards. People told me about Tabletop Simulator on Steam. It was on sale that week for 50% off. Just to try to get the cards, do some test hands. I literally never played against anybody. I did a couple test hands with like a white deck, and I thought to myself, I would probably play a white deck because everybody's going to be reading their cards. Not many people are going to know exactly what they're doing. White deck's probably going to win. And since you're going to go into time almost all the time. If you win game 1, you're probably going to win. And so these are all, it was quite a bit of cramming of information into my brain to try to do this. And it was really exciting. It was really fun. And ultimately, my wife was super supportive. It was like, yes, you can do this. Let's do this. We went to Las Vegas. We woke up at 4 in the morning. We drove 6, and this is on Saturday, okay? So the event is starting on Saturday, but like they had Friday that you could go and buy packs and all that. And this was literally the plan. Wake up at like 3 in the morning Saturday, drive for 6 hours to Las Vegas, get there, open up 2 booster boxes as fast as we can, and then based on what is in those booster boxes, buy the appropriate starter decks that I need for whatever deck that those cards are gonna make, and then make it work. And that's what we did. We got there, and it was so crazy. The time crunch was so insane. In hindsight, we definitely should have just paid for an extra night at a hotel, but you know, lessons learned. And so basically, we opened up those packs. I didn't realize it was going to take me so long to open up the packs, sort them, know what cards I have, and then start writing down a physical deck list. That was the worst handwriting I probably had since first grade. It was insane. Just trying to cram this down so fast and cram this down. That's, I guess that's a saying. And so it looked like I was going to get a purple deck. In hindsight, I should have just bought the white starter decks because I did get one Enterprise. I got a couple other X-Rare white cards, and I did get a bunch of the rares, I think, for white. So in hindsight, if I was more prepared, I would have realized that, oh, white's gonna be good enough with what I've got here. But I went with a purple deck, and it was good enough to win $500, I guess. So let's take a look at the deck I came up with. As you can see, we've got the sick alt art Infernal King Curse Dragon. Very stoked about that. So we got 2 of these total. Then I've got 2 Dark Bishops for the combo. I mean, they're also just good cards. I pulled, these next 3 are one-ofs. I've got Grand Underworld Trio Queen Maduke, Dread Knight Nemesis, and Beldegor of the Dark World 7. Maduke and Nemesis, I maybe played each of them one time. Beldegor, I did get to play a few times, and I did actually get to summon him back from the grave a few times. Very nice. Dark Kingsnake Pentacles, I also played this card a few times, you know, from the structure deck. Not too bad. Then I've got 2 Dark Knight Mordred. I wish I had more of this. This card was actually really awesome. Really awesome. Just clearing a unit that they attacked with. Very neat. We've got 4 Dark Lancer Cavaliers. They draw a card. It was a great card to have in the deck. 4 of. I don't know if you play 4 in most lists. Dark Knight Aglavel. We've got 4 of these as well. Next is Dragonaga Assassin. 4 of these. I really don't think I would play 4 of these, but I kind of had to. I basically had to merge 2 different purple lists together because I didn't have all of the cards I wanted, as you might be able to tell. 4 Camelot Knights. This also originally wasn't planned to be in my deck, but it was a great 1-drop. We've got 4 Core Drains. Really solid card. You know, comes in the structure deck, so pretty easy to have 4 of. Purple Smoke Valley. I literally didn't know what this card did when I put it into my deck. I just knew that it was in some purple decks, and it, you know, came in the starter deck, so putting it in the deck. Only 3 Netherworld Depths. Unfortunate, but I mean, I know some people only play 3, but I would have liked to play 4 if I got a 4th one. And this card was actually really awesome. I'll talk about it in my matchups in a little bit, okay? So yeah, 3 Netherworld Depths. The massive 2 Absolute Ice Shields. Obviously, you know, I would have played more if I had more, but I pulled 2 out of my booster boxes. So this is what I've got. All right. We've got 4 Burning Force. I also didn't know what this card did when I put it into my deck, but I knew that so many deck lists that I saw were playing it, so I was putting it in there. 4 Star Blessed Draws. This card was actually really insane. I know I've been seeing some videos of some other people mentioning it being super powerful, and yeah, it was great. Loved it. The last 2 cards I've got is a single Core Theft and a single Deadly Balance. I really wish that I got more Deadly Balances, and I think that when I was choosing to do this, I thought that I had enough of these, maybe? First, I thought that I had more than just 1, and then after I bought the decks and I saw, I was like, oh my gosh, I only have 1 of this card. This is going to be a little bit rough. And spoiler, yeah, it was a little bit rough. For the side deck, I've got 2 Heavenblade Dragon Ryut. This card, I never summoned it. I played against a couple red decks, and I never saw Star Dragons, but I just assumed maybe they were, cited it in, never drew them, didn't matter. I put a flamefish in here literally just because I had space. And I had really, I had to do this so light speed. When I was writing my deck list down, there wasn't even 5 minutes left before the round was going to start. It was insane. 4, Ice Maid Fulla. Same thing here. I did not know what this card did, but I knew that people had it in their main or side, and I figured that when it came to side decking, I would read this card, and I'd probably be able to tell if this would interact with my opponent or not. And yeah, that did work out for me. And these last 3 cards, they're basically not cards. Dark Matter and 2 Flame Breaths. I literally just put whatever cards didn't seem like complete trash of what was left that I pulled. Definitely better choices could be made. But, like I said, we made it work. All right, now to go through some of my matches. Game 1 literally was my first time ever playing the game, literally, like with an actual opponent. And it was a red deck. They were very fast, and I'm pretty sure they 2-0'd me. I was literally like turn 1 just like holding some like Aglavels and Cavalier in my hand and like not knowing. I'm like, what's the best play? What do I do? What do my cards do? Purple Smoke Valley, reading this card being like, okay, should I put this down? It was so funny. I probably looked like such a noob. I mean, I am probably like still to this moment technically a noob, especially compared to the other people there, because I severely underestimated the card gamers for this game. Okay, I had no idea that people had been playing this game basically for the last couple months on Tabletop Simulator. Had no idea that people knew about this game for 4 months. I found out about it, like I said, at this point 2 weeks ago. So people knew what cards did. They knew what my cards were doing, and they were going, and I'm sitting here like, what do I do? I'm like, core step, draw step, refresh step. My first couple rounds were really rough, but yes, got killed by aggro red player. Game 2 was against a purple deck, friendly opponent. I ended up beating them. Game 3 also against another purple opponent. I also beat them. It probably really helped having the Star Blessed draws in the main deck, because when summoned, draw 2. If I've got the mana, draw 4. It was good. And even though I only had like you can see here, even though I've got a bunch of one-ofs, some cards that I'd like more copies of, it did end up working out. And so we've got red loss, purple win, purple win. Then I went against a white player. He was a really awesome friendly gamer as well. And it went to game 3, I believe. Yeah, I believe game 2 he locked me with Fulla and Enterprise, and I just couldn't draw the very minimal cards in my deck that would actually be able to do anything about that. But pulled it around in game 3, yeah. And so that's a win. And then, we started out with a loss against red, 2 wins against purple, and a win against white. It's looking pretty good here. Pretty stoked. Then after that, we went against another white player, Jaren, and he got me. It was a rough battle. There was a play, I believe it was in the final round, game 3, and I was trying to figure out how to get around it. And I think he had 2 Enterprises, a Fulla, and an Elk on the board. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm screwed. I don't think I can do anything about this. I had some curse units on the board, but I was looking at Netherworld Depths, and I decided to read its second effect, and I'll just read it for you right now. During your attack step, when one of your spirits is blocked, you may pay 1 core from this nexus, destroy your opponent's blocking spirit when the battle ends. And I didn't know the rulings, but it sounded like it didn't target to me. And I just decided to move my cores onto it. And I went to make an attack. And Jaren let me know, he's like, that was really smart. A lot of players don't even read the other effect on Netherworld Depths. That totally would have worked, but I've got a Dream Bomb. So he Dreamed Bomb my Depths back up to my hand and another unit. Very unfortunate, and yeah, he got that game. Right after that, I played against Brandon Scott, another aggro red player. I think that one might have went to game 3. It was pretty rough. A lot of those units, he was able to beef them up past 3,000, and so I was not able to use my Burning Forces. And yeah, it was GG's, so he got me. So then my record was 3-3. We're coming into the final round, and I was playing against a yellow player. In my mind, I couldn't decide if I was excited or unhappy, because I knew that I was going to have to read more cards, because by that time, like by the time I played Jaren and then Brandon, I actually knew what my cards were doing. I knew what cards I wanted to see, what cards were my outs to certain things my opponent was doing. And I was like, dang it, I'm playing against the yellow deck. I'm going to have to read more cards, and I don't know what their potential is. What can they do to me? And so it did go to a game 3 with them. They were another friendly opponent, but I was able to get it. So the ending record was 4 wins, 3 losses, and I ended at 117th place. Shout out to the Master Chief there. Super stoked. We got $500 for it. So super happy with this little bit of an underdog story, you know, only knowing about the game for about 10 days, doing 5 or 6 days worth of research, figuring out a few decks, opening up only 2 booster boxes and a couple structure decks, and making whatever I can with it, even though I don't know what most of the cards in my deck do. I don't know what my opponent's cards do, and I consider this a massive win for me. Super happy about it. Got to pay for the hotel, got to pay for all of my cards. It was a dub for sure. And me and my wife had a great time at the event. We had a great time just road tripping to Las Vegas and back home. Although those convention center chairs destroyed my butt. I'm a skinny guy. I've got a little bit of a bony butt, and those chairs freaking destroyed me. I'm still feeling it today. And so moral of the story is, if you're having a hard time with the convention center chairs, take your hoodie off and sit on it, okay? And also maybe prepare more in advance, maybe somehow be able to know about the game even more in advance than you did. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this here. This is a card games channel, so if you're interested in Battle Spirits Saga, as you probably are if you've listened this far into the video, or if you're interested in Marvel Snap, I also plan on making some Marvel Snap content here as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're interested in either of those. I also have a Destiny 2 channel called Travi Dead. So if that's something that might be up your alley, go ahead and check that out. I've got that in the description. Thanks for spending some time here. I hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe I'll see you in the next one. She doesn't know. Bobby! Hi, Bobby! Bobby! Hi, sweetie! We're home!
Come on in.
Are you so happy?
You gotta sit on the floor with us. Yeah.
Oh, you still got your bone?
But it's gonna take her a while to calm down tonight.